If you were expecting a fun one, you're not getting one. This is a story of grief, betrayal, loss, and the panic of the coming of a new age, calamity. Shadows stalk this world. Come with us, but please, only if you dare. Whoa. Please, I can't stress enough, only if you dare. Everything feels slow. There's movement and there's heat, but the only noise you can hear, despite all this chaos, is breath. It's yours, but it's also a stranger's. It's like someone else is using your body to breathe. I need you to describe your character and tell us your character's name, but I would love for you to do that with the understanding that your mouth is filled with blood.
All right, well, my name is Xerxes Ileres. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm a paladin. Broad-shouldered, muscular, dark hair, wavy, medium tan brown skin, amber eyes with a kind of troubled, sometimes emptiness behind them, and I imagine right now he's stumbling around, wiping the blood off of his mouth as he's trying to maintain his sense of his surroundings.
You've been here before. You're in a state of disorientation. It's combat. You're not dead. Maybe the blood in your mouth isn't your own, but you've just received a massive blow somewhere to the head. Not lethal, but you're off balance, you're stumbling. Something is wrong, and not in the sense that you're in a bad situation. If anything, that's a place of comfort for you. Something is wrong in the spirit. You open your eyes. Everything is moving through liquid glass. Time is as slow as can be. Ahead of you, you're seeing shapes swim into focus as your eyes reconnect. You can feel your legs doing their work underneath you. It's so slow. And again, ringing off the inside of your helm, your own breath, sweat pouring down your brow. Ahead of you, the shape comes into focus from blur into three swimming shapes that you realize are the same wall. It's a wall, it's a building. There's something happening. There's fire. There's an orange glow that has turned the white marble of your city into a hellscape. There is a burst of energy, an explosion. It moves so fast out to a radius of 10, 15, 20 feet, and then joins the glass time that you are in. Boom. Slow. You feel yourself lifting off your feet, being blown away, slower than you have ever moved in combat. What are you doing?
I am trying to find the people that I know. I'm looking around as I'm being blasted slowly through space, through the air. I'm trying to find anyone. Twisting and turning my body. Do I see anything?
Someone you know. You look through the streets as you move. Two more explosions. They start so fast and get to only a certain point and then whoom, slow again. You're watching moments in time disconnected. Someone you know. Down a street. Maybe it's a street you recognize could have been a street you walked on the first time you came to this city. At the end, there's an open plaza. You know, at the center of that plaza, there's supposed to be a statue. And you know who that statue is of. Instead, there is open space. You see a boy, 5 years old, a red shock of hair. He sits with his feet dangling in the opening, a humble fishing rod in his hand, sinking into the blackness of the void in this space.
I need to get to him. I'm gonna try to use whatever I can with my body and kind of twist and try to guide my body in that direction if I can.
You move, you feel your feet come underneath you, and you start to hear noises. To arms! To arms! Avalir! Rise! Those noises fade. And you begin to move, and you feel coolness coming from that opening. You arrive, and the orange glow still hangs in the air, but suddenly the glass goes away. You're moving under the power of your own body, and you feel your sense and your memory return to you. You catch your breath, and once again, that sound does not sound like a stranger to you. You are in the plaza and can walk freely, and you are still looking at the child before you.
Is there still chaos happening around me?
Doesn't feel like it anymore. As you've moved back into a place that seems to have the power of your own body underneath it, it's almost like that slowed time is left behind you. You don't see any more things exploding. It's almost like the city has become still here in this place, as though everything else is momentarily subsided.
I wipe my mouth, look at my hands.
Blood dripping off your gauntlet.
Still there. I start to approach, but from a little bit of an angle, and I keep my eyes locked on the child. Is it Elias?
Your son turns to look at you. Hi. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Can you come to me, please?
You
Elias, come here.
I'm fishing. I'm trying to catch something.
What are you trying to catch?
I don't know. I don't know the kind of fish that live in a place like this.
I'm approaching.
You
And I'm
look.
looking around.
You look around. You look into the hole, expecting to see only darkness. Through the hole, looking straight down, you see endless stars. And they're stars you recognize. The stars over Kath Moira. You feel and hear whispers, laughter, and I need you to make a perception check.
First roll of the campaign.
First roll of the campaign.
You got this.
So this is how it's gonna be, Brennan, you son of a bitch.
It's not called EXU fucking party time, okay?
Can we? Is it too late? Come on.
Come on.
We're only like 5 minutes in.
First roll. Okay.
13.
Lucky 13.
That's what they say. Oh, it's an open.
No, it's on.
Way to go. It's the way to go.
These are the dice that y'all just gave me, too. These are my, newest Exandria dice.
You, on a 13, you look and see stars. And sense starts to come back to you. These are the stars you learned to fly by. And behind you, you feel a sudden reassuring presence. And you feel a massive winged shape appear behind you. A griffin formed of starlight and pure magic nuzzles against your armor.
I instinctively just lean into him and touch his beak.
Griffins are, of course, half eagle and half lion. In a very cat-like way, your griffin nuzzles your armor and turns into a massive puddle like cats are wont to do. Vroom, lies down, talons in the front crossed, nestles down. Elias looks up. Are you listening for something? You hear whispers. On a 13, I need to ask you, do you speak Draconic?
I do not.
That's the end of the campaign. You do not. So all you hear is, "Hi there now, Gordranis. Gordranis."
Do you hear that, Elias? Do you hear that? Do you hear anything?
Dad, you sound crazy. Is everything okay?
Come here.
He goes, okay, but... And you see that he takes the little fishing pole and puts it in between the talons of the griffin. So it's just sitting there. And he gets up, what's wrong?
And I kneel down, and I look at him, and I move the hair that's in his forehead off to the side, look in his eyes. I'm just glad you're safe.
Of course I'm safe. You'd never let anything happen to me.
I would never let anything happen to you. I'm gonna look back down into that pond.
Endless stars.
I'm gonna repeat that back into it, even though I don't know what it says or what it means. Godranis.
You repeat Gordranis back into the pool.
Godranis. I say it again louder.
Elias holds your arm. Dad, you know I won't look like this when you get home.
I know. Wait, come back here.
Dad.
No, don't leave. Just let me have this.
He holds the fishing rod. I think I caught something. He disappears into the pool, and you hear the entire neighborhood in front of you vanishes as a body the size of a mountain crashes into the city. A massive red form writhes in pain, and a face as tall as a cathedral turns to you. A flood of sanguine fluid emerges from the mouth, and a horned figure looks at you. You look and see something older than the world look back. I'm sorry.
I approach.
I'm sorry.
What are you? What are you doing here? What is this?
My child, I fear I am too late. There are secrets they did not tell you. He opens his hand.
I rush to it.
His hand is the size of a marketplace, and you look, and in the center, translucent in ghostly imagery, you see a small tree, no taller than 10 feet. Ghostly light, translucent as blossoms move from it. And you see in ghostly light projected from the palm of this giant, this red-horned giant.
What does this mean? What is this?
I'm sorry. You must look. He is coming. From behind you, a figure emerges in translucent white light. Could you do me the favor of describing what your husband looked like in life?
Oh my God.
I
gotta go.
It's been 10 minutes.
So,
When do we breathe that? When does that come?
Whole episode is a trigger warning.
Too upset to take notes.
Evandrin is about 5'10". He's just a little bit shorter than I am. He's got red hair, straight, about shoulder length, half elven in appearance. He looks, if you look at Elias, our son, you're seeing the spitting image of what he's going to look like when he's grown up.
Evandrin steps past you. He cannot see you, and you understand in this moment, because your husband does not meet your eyes, that this is a memory. He is not here again, and he is still gone. He holds an amulet, steps towards the tree, and the blossoms from the tree blow in his direction. For a moment, his hair sweeps behind him, mixed with the petals of this flowering sapling. He falls to his knees, clutches his stomach.
I run to his side. I know this is a memory, but I haven't seen him in so long, and I want to see his face.
You turn to see his face. You see, he turns up to see someone else. Something's wrong. The image is shattered in a searing burst of light. Another figure, tall as a mountain. All of the light, all of the fire is but a shadow in the face of the dawn. You see a gleaming golden figure land with one colossal foot on the throat of this horned figure, press him further into the rubble of Avalir. And you see the horned figure looks to you and cries out.
His hands are still out.
You stand now in the palm of his hand.
I reach down and I touch it.
You see the figure. You do. You feel a pulse. You feel warm blood flowing through this giant. You look up. The face of the being above you is no face. There is no warmth to the eyes. You see the pitiless, featureless glare of the sun itself.
I look up at its face. Is it looking down in my direction?
It turns down to look at you.
Turn your eyes from this sinner. He is beyond redemption.
What has he done?
He has betrayed his kin.
You see the horned figure turns to you and says, "It's all right. It's all right. Just ask yourself, Xerxes. Whom did we betray?"
Yo.
And he...
I
Stop! Boom! You hold your hand, and as you hold it up, the light of the sun leaves and is abjured. Boom! The horned fiend coughs, looks at you with the expression of a being that has just had its life saved, and says, No mortal would do this thing that you have done. Xerxes, if you look down and see the stars, what will you see if you look up?
His hand is, or his fingers curled up. I know I'm in his palm.
Mm-hmm.
I look at his face and I start to approach one of the fingers that are standing up, probably like a pillar.
Mm-hmm.
And I put my hand on the finger and lean on it. And I'm holding on to him.
Yeah.
And I look up.
You see the ground, and it is fast approaching.
What?
And with that, you wake up.
Oh, Daddy.
I think I'm in the wrong class. I thought this was freshman biology.
Oh, my. Okay.
Cool. The first thing I do is I wipe my mouth and I see if there's blood.
You're drenched in sweat. Like, your sheets are covered in sweat. It's soaked through to the mattress underneath. But beautiful dawn light cascades through the window. It's another glorious morning in Avalir.
Don't even notice that. The first thing I do is I reach for something.
Outside.
Yeah. I reach. I imagine, is this the first of these sorts of dreams that I've had?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I reach over for a notebook that I have and a writing utensil, and I start to try to recall that dream as much as I can, and I'm gonna leave a dream journal. Hell yeah. If you dream like that, you're gonna leave dream journals.
Yeah, it's true.
You write down the name Gordranus, which is Ghor, is the first word, and the second word is Dranas, Dranas. What's the room that, like, what is it, what, how?
Where do you sleep?
Yeah.
Where do I sleep?
Yeah.
I am the first knight of Avalir, and I dwell in the tower of the first knight, but this particular room has accommodations not just for me, but for my griffin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tall tower, and it's a suite. It's not that opulent. It's not that fancy. It's got a large enough bed for me, and a couch and all the standard sorts of things. A chair, perhaps, a fireplace to contemplate the dreams I have as I stare into the fire. But what it also has is a place nearby, a giant window, so that I can, so Tempest, my griffin, can hop in and fly out of.
You approach the balcony of the Tower of the First Night. You see Tempest is there once again, clearly a magical creature. This griffin would be, in some ages of Exandria, would cause gasps and shrieks to behold something that literally has a body of cool amethyst liquid gemstone with stars swimming in its form and constellation. But here in the bustling city of Avalir, Tempest is but one of many wonders. And as you behold from your balcony the spire of Avalir, the city of crowns, a new morning comes, friends.
Stop being cool. Like, we don't remember what just happened.
The ground was there and it was coming here. Fast. You said fast.
If you look up and see stars, what happens when you look down?
Brennan, you knocked it out of the park. This was phenomenal, my dude. Like, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, right below, and leave a like.